Okay, and I'm very excited about this panel. The best panel, and I've done hundreds, maybe even more than 1,000, to be honest, in the last years. The best panel was with banks and neobanks in Romania, 2019, at Revolut, at Banking 4.0. So I'm not going to ask easy questions. And I really have to understand what's the differentiation. I mean, we have more than, what, 120, 130 neobanks in Europe right now, serving over 60 million consumers, clients. But it's very difficult for, on this side of the table, to understand what makes you different and what's your different strategies. So I will just ask you to introduce yourself. Thank you. Introduce yourself and tell exactly what you're doing, but also share some numbers with us. How many clients we have, how many employees, how many countries. Be a bit specific. So I will start with you, please, Gabriela.
Okay.
It's working, yes?
So I'm Gabriela Simeon. I manage the Revolut.
Can you speak in front of the mic, please?
I manage the Revolut business in Romania. We are globally, let's say, the only global neobank. We are present in over 40 countries. We are present
40.
40
countries.
40. We are present on all continents except one for the moment.
Which is?
Which is Africa.
Africa, not yet in Africa.
Not yet in Africa, but who knows? So sky is the limit. We currently have 35 million customers worldwide, and our ambition is to get to 100 million by 2025. In Europe, where we have the full banking license, actually starting January 1st, we will be under supervision of the European Central Bank. So we have most of our clients currently in Europe, so over 30 million. And in Romania, we have 3.3 million. In terms of retail customers, we are the second bank. And we have the ambition, by the time we will have the local operations live, which will be in the first half of next year, to start being the first retail bank by number of customers. As far as Romania is concerned, we have a penetration of 35% in active population. We are processing 70 million transactions monthly.
In Romania?
In Romania. So this is Romania. Globally, we reached recently the record high of 500 million transactions processed in Revolut on a monthly basis. What else?
I mean, it's enough for now. I'm gonna ask you more questions, but
just a couple of more things.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice
Go ahead.
So, actually, the ambition in Romania is to be the primary bank for our customers. I know that there are, perceptions that Revolut is a bank that is used only when you are traveling or whatever for the good effects. But I think that we are over this period. So currently, an average customer of Revolut in Romania performs around 24 transactions a month. And out of this, probably around 17, 18 are card payments, and 78% are domestic transactions. Yeah. So Revolut is heavily used for local payments, like groceries, like supermarkets, the typical transactions that customers are doing on a day-to-day basis.
Perfect. Gabi?
Hello, I'm Gabriela Nistor, Gabi, for everybody. Starting with last year, I am in the position of CEO in the new Salt Bank. So recently we just launched the new brand, Salt Bank, so the future Neobank made in Romania. We are working now on the implementation. The idea is to launch the product next year, early next year, I would say maybe end of first quarter, addressing mainly large and medium urban areas, young professionals. So this is the area we would like to address at the beginning, and after that of course, to enlarge the market and also our products. Also, we announced recently our partnership with Engine by Starling, but here I would better give the stage to Sam here close to me, in order to tell you more about what they built there and how our partnership will work. Of course, this partnership is subject to be approved by National Bank of Romania, because we will use a very new technology, but it will be an outsourced banking activity, so we need national banking approval. Everything which is related to the more than core banking platform, but also the card system, it will be software as a service. And on top of it, we build now our own mobile solution, because we wanted to build capabilities on what we can control and want to be there for our customers, and to rely on others' capabilities and knowledge for the core platform, I would say. So watch us next year. We will come to the market, and I think you will like what you will see.
We're going to ask more questions regarding what we're going to see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Sam.
Yes, great.
Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sam Everington, as kind of introed. So I'm kind of here in two capacities. I guess I can speak on behalf of Starling Bank, which is an organization I joined 7 years ago now, kind of as a 20-person company. So Starling is a very successful UK digital bank. We're UK only, so a fully licensed bank in Britain, serving retail and SME customers. We've got about 4 million customers in Britain now, 500,000 of which are businesses, which gives us a 9% market share in small business banking in Britain.
4 million in UK, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we look at the market quite differently. We can maybe come to that later as well. We're a bank first. We've always been licensed as a bank in Britain. And so we've focused on being people's primary account. And so you can see that in the balance sheet of the bank, in the average deposits, and critically in its profitability. Starling turned over £680 million last year and made £195 million in profits. So it's really got the primary banking relationship. Customers are doing hundreds of transactions a month, and that's really showing in the deposits, the balance sheet. And I think the average customer's 39 as well. We've really gone for kind of mid-market traditional families there. So I can talk in Starling world, but I'm here today and here with Gabby.
Talk about
the world
Engine, yeah.
Engine, which is the part of the group that I'm CEO of now. So Starling's a UK bank. We're not planning to get licensed in other markets around the world, but we've got quite a unique technology platform that enables these products that have been so successful in Britain. And so we're partnering with banks, with licensed entities in other markets. And our first partnership, actually, which we're really excited to finally go public with last week, is here with Salt Bank in Romania. So sometime Q1 hopefully next year, we'll be live together. So it's the technology that sat behind Starling, but running it here in Romania for Salt Bank with their own app, their own proposition.
What makes it so unique compared to other neobanks or banking platforms?
Yeah, as Gabby said, we've built all the different pieces you need to run the bank. So
like every bank, so it doesn't make any difference.
No, there's normally quite a collection of vendors, a lot of different interfaces and servicing platforms in the back end. Everything from kind of new business to card processing, AML and financial crime, disputes, even the contact center, the chat and call handling is all integrated into one platform, one servicing interface. We spent as long on the operating side of the system.
It's a banking as a service, if you want, right?
Not really banking as a service because the operational part will be
On your
made
side.
by us, yes.
Yes.
But it's like a software or platform as a service because you can find more than just a core banking system. So we found more in their offer and in their support. And that's why we decided that they would be the best option. And also the technology is new, everything is in cloud, of course scalable. We don't discuss about this, but also the way they were building the platform for us was very important.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to the service you guys propose and compare to others. Jakub.
Hello,
Yes.
my name is Jakub Malach.
Talk really in the mic.
My name is Jakub Malach.
No, it doesn't change anything. So take that one. Mic as a service, yes.
Should be working.
Yes.
My name is Jakub Malach. I'm coming from Raiffeisen Digital Bank. We are quite new bank in Romanian market, but not only in Romania. So we are doing business as a digital spin-off from Raiffeisen Bank International Group. We are our own legal entity, licensed in Austria and doing banking cross-border in Poland and in Romania. And we started in 2020. So since 2020, we are developing the brand new tech stack for the bank. So we have also all the infrastructure, new cloud-based software as a service with a lot of products from the partners integrated. And with this new tech stack, we launched the first product in Poland, and it was the unsecured consumer loan. And this product is scaling very well, and we are quite satisfied with what we have achieved. And since May 2023, we are in Romania with our first I would say initial proposition for daily banking, cards, payments, and accounts.
But this is different from the. I'm sorry, my mistake. I don't know the digital side of Raiffeisen. Is it coupled to Raiffeisen? Or is it totally independent of Raiffeisen?
Yes, we are the entity which is a bank,
okay,
which is 100% subsidiary of our mother, Raiffeisen Bank International.
But your proposition is different from the Raiffeisen Bank.
So what we focus on customers that want to act and bank 100% digital. So we are mobile first bank. Our main channel is mobile app.
How many clients do you have?
We have customers in Poland and in Romania.
Okay.
What I can say, our growth rates are quite impressive. Double-digit, triple-digit months over month.
Let's talk about that. What's your acquisition strategy, your go-to-market when you're a digital bank? I mean, you have Raiffeisen, succursal all over the place, but you decided to launch a fully digital bank. Why, and how's your acquisition strategy?
Sure. Our strategy is first to address our services to the people that are able to act and bank fully digital. So we are not having at the moment ambition that we would be complete with our value proposition as a primary bank. So our use cases are typical secondary banking use cases for people that can have needs that are not going beyond what we offer at the moment.
Like what?
Like basic payments, payments locally, using the card for payments by merchants. We are offering cards only virtual. We are not offering at the moment physical cards, but we are offering quite interesting proposition, for example, for people that travel. So we are focusing on a couple of niches. We have, as I said, very good lending product in Poland, so we would like to scale it as well. And for these particular use cases, we believe we can build interesting proposition.
Okay. It's strange for me that Raiffeisen has decided to launch a spin-off, meaning they are not good enough in the digital strategy. I see some cannibalization, that's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Is it the case or not?
I think we are focusing on different customer segments a bit, and also with the different proposition.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I will come back, and don't worry. So Andrea, welcome. Thank you for being with us. Guys, it happens to the best. I think it's the first time I screw up in the agenda. And apologies to the speaker that I was meant to talk before the panel, but I was so eager to ask you the question that I totally forgot about Bogdan. So welcome, Andrea. Sorry for that, for the hiccups. So Andrea, can you briefly present what is Sinata? Give us some numbers and what you guys are doing.
we asked about the drivers that push for specific decisions. Now, I'll try to share my presentation here.
I'm not sure you have a presentation.
Okay, let me just go fast to some data.
Please, we don't have much time. Go ahead.
First thing, we did a survey. We realized that the survey in 11 countries. It was in July. It was in Belgium, Bulgaria, France, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Portugal, Spain, and Romania. And we did ask for preference of consumers, 11,000 consumers, not Europe, about their preference on online banking, neobanking, and traditional banking. So please bear with me that these are declarations. So these are perception. And perception often is reality. And as I said, we take decisions based often on some irrational sentiment. So we sampled 1,000 interviews for each of those countries. And one question that would be very interesting to analyze is, if you had to choose between smart bank or bank with a local and physical branch or neobank, who would be your preference? In Europe, 40% of the respondents, they say that they prefer to have a digital bank.
40%. That means 60% prefer to have a traditional bank.
Yes, it's 40. And when you analyze 4% of these, 55% of the data, it's people between 18 and 34. So that is the age bracket in which indeed that is more successful. When you compare this data with the local branch and advisor, that data goes to 18%. So much less preference. And finally, if you ask about for both, there's a 31%. So still, digital bank is the main preference of those 11,000 consumers in Europe. I just want to add something. If you take the same comparison with other countries in Romania, where you're hosting this beautiful event, the preference is slightly smaller. In Romania, 38% of consumers would like to prefer to have digital bank. But, bear with me, young smart Romanian people, 47% of the ones that prefer digital are 18-34. So, indeed, Romanian generation X and millennials, they are the ones that in all Europe, they have a better preference and tendency on market bank. Curious to see that whereas for local branch, in Romania, it's slightly lower than the rest of Europe, 18% for Europe and 12% in Romania. And again, that's surprising, more digitalized behaviors and preference. Bear with me, this is declaration.
Thank you. Very insightful. Thank you, Andrea. And I mean, what do you think, guys? Feedback regarding what has been said? I mean, no surprise?
I just want to add some results from a different study. So I think last year in the world there were around 400 neobanks. Of course, the definition somehow is not exactly the same in what is a digital bank, what is neobank, but there were registered 400 neobanks, and they have 1 billion customer accounts. So even if some of those accounts are I don't know, in more than one neobank, this is a big number, and this is show us how much is the appetite of the customer for this. If we are looking at the different countries, how they adopt these neobanks, we can see that there is appetite. Of course, neobanks started with some niche product. There were the first year for neobanks, and what is also interesting that not many of them are yet successful. So this is another part of the story. To be successful, it's a different story than just launching a neobank.
If you want to learn a lot about neobanks, just go on nocash.ero. Sergio has great articles. One of the articles he published is like 5% of neobanks are profitable. which is a surprise, saying, why should I go in a market when pretty sure I'm going to be bankrupt in a few years? But that's going to be my last question, how you manage to be profitable. But it's a very good point, and Andrea, thank you so much for so much insights, because what would be great for us in the room is to really understand, you guys, you sit on a bunch of data. You can manage those data better than the traditional banks. How do you design the product? What's working? Because let's face it, I use Revolut. I use like 5 different neobanks, and I'm using Revolut almost every day today. But it's mainly payments, it's mainly trading. How do you assess what are the services you should sell? And then also for you, how you assess the service you should develop? And Raiffeisen Digital, of course. But what's working, what's not working? How do you manage the services? How you think about the products?
Okay, so in our case, as Gabi mentioned already, it was an evolution. Yeah, so what we always have in mind is the customer problem. You know, like what we need to solve. So what is underserved by the traditional banking or by whatever exists at that point in time in a certain region or globally, and that's how we started. That's why we started with FX and cross-currency payments, and now we have managed to build an entire ecosystem that combines the traditional products, you know, like savings, credit, account.
What's working? Do you have some numbers? What are the services that are working on Revolut more than the others?
I mean, it depends on the ambition. Huh?
Sorry?
And it depends on the ambition on each, because our strategy, so we have a fail fast strategy as in our DNA. So we have a part of the company that looks at the new bets, you know, which are the new products. So we are not launching products that are not working.
Okay. So how do you assess if they are working or not?
Sorry?
How do you assess if they are working or not?
So there is a team that assesses this from the need perspective, obviously profitability, and scalability. So these are the 3 items that are always, that we always...
Need, profitability, scalability.
Yeah,
okay.
so what is the customer problem that you are solving? So this is, because then when we are going to profitability, so if you have a product that nobody needs, but it sounds sexy to the company, then obviously the adoption will not be there, hence you will not be profitable, hence doesn't make sense to...
What's the most used service on Revolut in Romania?
You know, obviously it's payments.
Payments, okay. Is it the most profitable?
You cannot compare margins on credit with margins on payments.
Of course.
But also credit, it's scaling up pretty nicely. We reached already over 200 million euro in new originations.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are adding so many services that are interesting. So equity, ETFs, and now even the bonds. You are launching the bond platform on Revolut, which is amazing. What about you, Gabi? How do you assess what are the services that are needed? Those are profitable?
So looking at the bank that neobanks or fintechs, why they are not profitable. Many of these were established by people working in technology, and they started with the mindset that let's acquire customers first, as other fintechs from other companies from other industries are doing. And they started with this in mind. But in banking, it's a little bit different. You can enlarge your customer base, not making any profit, and after that, when you want to monetize some of your portfolio, the customer just can leave you and go to another bank and another bank. So we had this in mind, and the approach was different because we are a bank. So we have a license. We have a license here in Romania, and we have banking experience. We built on technology everything, but it's very important to know what you have in your balance sheet, to know what you put there. Of course, we were looking at the segment of customer we were choosing, and we were looking what they are doing every day, and we started with something. But also I have to recognize that we were looking a lot at other neobanks in the world, successful or not, to learn lessons. And we were looking at Starling Bank and their approach, and I think we found many similarities in their approach. They are profitable, we want to be profitable. And I think it's very important, and it's a strategy lesson to try to become profitable in, I don't know, 4th year, 5th year of activity, somewhere there, not later, because after that, more and more cost will come with the technology
So the
and everything.
the time where you just have acquisition and you just burn money to have as many people is revolute. I mean, it's done, it's past.
I think it was a different time at that moment, and a different moment. And
Easy money,
now
cheap money,
money have a different value, I would say,
There is
in the investor side, and they are looking different at their investment now. But also I think on long run, it's more important to establish a very healthy position in how you build your business.
So what are your KPIs? What are you looking?
To establish KPIs and to build your business in a way that is sustainable. Many fintechs started just building their business case with having in mind only the payments, and only the interchange fee was they in their business models I don't know, mainly source of revenue. And this is not sustainable on the long run, because the larger the business, the bigger the loss. And at the moment in time, you cannot sustain that. And your
Gabriela?
investor maybe
there are
don't want to do this. And you have to put, after that, other products. We will start with an MVP, of course, something quite simple. We put there something to attract customers, of course, in our value proposition. But after that, of course, we had a roadmap in order to enlarge the product with things that the customer may want, but also with things that will build our business.
It's still to be proven. Gabriela, you want to add something?
Yeah, actually, that's how everyone started. Like you say, with an MVP, with something, like trying to solve something, a problem. And then, obviously, there are a couple of routes that fintechs have taken, worldwide. There were those that remain true to that value proposition, and then they try to scale it or to sell it to banks that don't have the capability to, do it themselves. So they partnered with banks, and they remained, focused on that skill that they have. And then there are cases like Revolut that actually took it to another level, because when you are a fintech, and obviously the investment, the money are not there all over the place, you need to choose your battles. You need to choose what will bring you the benefit and the profitability that you were talking about. I mean, it's extremely important to be focused both on the acquisition and on the value proposition, as well as the profitability, because in the end, customer will choose where to go. And if you just bring another product that has no value whatsoever, so it's equal, it's part to the market where you are promoting that product, then it will become a commodity. So you need to bring the innovation factor, and you need to be there where they need it with the features that they need.
It would be interesting to know also your KPIs. But yeah, definitely, Jakub, tell us, what makes you different, man? What do you think you are better than Revolut, Soul Bank, and all the other 118 other neobanks in Europe?
All right, I will start from a little bridge from profitability of neobanks. So we discussed there are only 5% of neobanks which are at the moment globally profitable. And if you look at them, we see they are excellent in lending, in digital lending.
The 5 are in the lending.
Which are
okay.
in the quadrant which is scaled and which is long-term profitable. One thing is that there is no profitability coming first year, second year with any of the use case. This we have to admit. So there are a lot of novices in the list which still may get to the profitability. And what is the bridge to where we are different? So it is not only about the use case and how we test it qualitatively, quantitatively. We do market tests, we do user acceptance, UX testing, etc. But it's also about the way how it is delivered. It's not only unsecured lending, it's not the new use case, but there are new ways how it is delivered.
Tell us how come, I mean, it's digital, how can it be different?
What we developed and launched in Poland.
A what?
what we developed and launched in Poland, which is our first product, unsecured personal loan. And actually since 17th of October, we launched a brand new product, which is unsecured loan consolidation refinancing in the mobile app within few minutes. This is still after, since 2021, a product which none of the banks in the market was able to copy. So we are unique with this product, and we deliver this product not only through the digital marketing way, but also through partnerships. So it's also about innovations in the distribution of how this product.
But that was interesting for me. How do you distribute those products, and how are you going to distribute those products, Gabi? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So how neobanks should distribute, in my view? The neobanks should partner with e-commerce, should partner with already established and scaled players in the digital space, and embed their use case into their digital customer journeys. And I think this is the future. This is the distribution of the future.
But be specific. What are the partners you're going to use and you are using?
There are partners. Typically, we focus at the moment on the bigger ticket size of loans and partnerships that can bring us at the beginning the bigger tickets, and later we'll probably penetrate other segments. And these are, for example, solar panel or solar technology providers, used cars sellers, furniture or electronics stores, e-commerce stores.
Gabi, was your distribution strategy? What will be your distribution strategy?
We are still building the go-to-market strategy, but very short, I would say. So digital marketing, those mechanisms to attract customers through digital marketing, partnerships, and building of ecosystems.
Okay. I mean, it's obvious.
In our case, it's obvious.
But share with the ones that don't know.
Yeah, sure. So in our case, whenever we decide to enter in a market, there is only one objective: to win that market. So that's without saying.
No prisoner taken. No prisoners taken.
No, there are, but actually there is still a segmentation, because when you are looking at the competition of how developed that market is from a financial services perspective, we have split it in two. One where we want to be, these are our strategic countries, and Romania is part of these countries where we want to be a primary bank. And there are other countries that, there is a huge potential to scale. And those are the countries where we want to be transactional. So we are the day-to-day, transaction market. So for the primary countries, we are launching the local branches because we offer the best. We are planning to offer the best experience to the customer, even more than what we have today. Yes, so we will offer local IBANs. We want to customize our products and services to cater to the local needs, to partner more with the local providers that are meant to enhance the value proposition.
Sam, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I really enjoyed listening to this. I think Starling has charted quite a different path to what everyone else is talking about. To the kind of neobank, digital bank research, Starling's always just positioned itself as a bank, quite consciously, even in the advertising. And so our average customer is 39, you can see in the way it's come through. And I sat back when the bank was raising money, and all the VCs then were throwing money at anyone with customer numbers ultimately, and they're like, where are your customers? Why don't they there? Like, banks make money from the balance sheet. You need the deposits, you need the assets eventually, but we're actually not, we're a very profitable neobank, but we're totally current account led. We're dreadful lenders, frankly, and that's still something we need to sort out. Even now, the bank's at a 40-45% loan to deposit ratio. It's got a long way to go. So we've all got the same thing. We're approaching the market by solving customer problems. Everyone's going to say that, and that's totally true. But Starling's focused on just executing simple banking products well, even through to the service. Like the proposition fundamentally hasn't had to change to make it profitable. We run 24/7 service. If you pick up the phone, you get straight through to a human. There's no IVRs, no menus, no chatbots, anything like that. We can do that profitably. And Starling's fee structure hasn't changed. Every other neobank in Britain has increased fees, added fees there, added fees for cash, added fees for payments, increased margins on things. In a drive to profitability, Starling's proposition is as free as it was the day it launched. So I think if you understand banking and kind of work in the economics that way, you can deliver quite a different profitable neobank. But we're not trying to look like a digital bank. We're taking the bits of traditional bank that work well and running them much more cost effectively with better service.
Perfect. I do have still a few questions, but for the time, question in the room? I think you should have a lot of questions in the room, be it a banker or be it a fintech. You should want to work with those guys, copy those guys. They are copying each other already, so you can also do the same. No, I'm kidding. Question in the room. Who wants to start? Nick.
I think this is the most diverse, the most exciting and arguing panel today and yesterday, and I really appreciate you coming here in Sinaia. I'm the vice president of Raw Fintech, and I expect you guys, because you are at the root somehow fintechs yourselves, right? And as Gabi said, and the other Gabi said, you like to work with the fintech community here in Romania. And just a few words, how do you see that collaboration with other fintechs doing other things than banking? Because we do kind of like credit scoring or payments, onboarding, and many other things. We are 25 companies. Our president talked about it earlier. And how do you see that in a brief collaboration with the fintechs here and the fintechs in Europe in general? Because you are big boys, big guys, so we look up at you. But please don't look down at us, right? So that's the question. Thank you. All right.
Okay, let's start with the ladies. Yeah. Gabriela.
Nick, first of all, thank you for bringing us to your hometown. We are happy to be here. Excellent event. First of all, we are a very inclusive company, so we don't work only with fintechs. We work with partners from Romania and from globally that will help us work and actually achieve our innovation target. And
you have specific names? Do you have specific names?
Yeah. Sorry?
Specific names in mind?
There would be too many.
Okay.
I think so. I will just keep it general, but we are always open to work with partners, because that's one. We are building most of the things ourselves, but we do recognize that if we want to be scalable and if we want to go to market fast, we may want to use existing capabilities, like from companies that have proven to be the best in their area, and we are partnering with them to.
Thank you. Gabi,
Yeah.
briefly.
I can give you a number because we just counted yesterday, I think, being in the middle of the implementation, not on the last 100 meters before the finish line, but maybe on the last turn now. And I think we had more than 30 integration as we speak. So yes, we have a lot of partnerships, many of them with fintechs. Let me give you just two names. We started to work with the iFactor for credit scoring and that part of engine for credit scoring, DTI calculation and so on. And our cooperation we had in Banca Transilvania with Pago, and that can be replicated here for bill payments, for example. So these are partnership with, let's say, not smaller fintechs, but for smaller parts in our system, I would say, or for parts in our system, and one big partnership for something very new in our market made here, which is software as a service. And Sam, please continue and help me.
Briefly, because we are running out of time. So briefly, Sam.
I'll be very brief on the Starling side. Yes, as well. Like Starling is the bank bit of it, but the investment, insurance, merchant acquiring, other things you may traditionally have got from a bundled bank are all partnerships. In Starling's case, it does the bits you need the banking license for, the difficult regulated problem, and all the supporting services are partnerships.
Perfect. Jakub?
I was already saying the partnership for neobanking, partnerships are absolutely the key, and there are two types. First, in distribution, I was talking about it, and using some distribution lanes or plugging into the digital journeys. And second thing is the building the tech stack. And for the tech stack, I was talking about, we started with quite a use case, which is not that easy to make it digital end-to-end, this is lending. And there we have above, I think, 20 partners integrated with SDKs or software as a service services. So practically, we are acting as a system integrator of services and products of partners. This is basically how the tech stack on which we run works. We prefer local partners, both in Poland and Romania. So we work with a lot of Polish, and also we start to work with Romanian fintechs. And we also like that we can bring some of our partners from one market to another with us.
Awesome. Given the interesting panel we have, I'm just going to do a bit more overtime. One last question before we give the mic to Andrea. No questions? Are you serious? Are you sleeping or?
So, what I'm trying to understand when I listen to you, where's the innovation? Because just going digital is not innovation anymore. Any company when decides to go digital, first does an improvement of its business model. So how your digital banks are different in terms of business model, and I'm not talking about distribution channels, packaging, the products.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Bogdan Almash from Asseto.
So we know who to target. Good.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, true indeed, but I will go more than business model, because business model, it's about the way we are making revenues. So which can be new or it can be kept more in a classic way, I would say. But innovation is not about business model only, but also how you build the platform. And so I cannot say today everything about what we want to launch, and I hope you will like what we will launch. If we speak about products per se, they are not very different, because it's an account, it's a card, it's what you put behind, what you put in the customer experience behind that, what you put on top. You are offering the package, I would say, to customers. This can be different, and this will be innovative in our approach, at least.
Thank you, Gabi. Jakub?
I see the two opportunities for neobanks. One, to do maybe not new use cases, but in different way and much cheaper. It's also the cost game. So we can do things which others are doing, but better for the customers with better use case, better UX, and cheaper, 4 times cheaper.
Interesting.
And second thing
metrics.
is, and this is probably where all the neobanks start, and then there are new use cases which we do not see at the moment in the market. We plan them, we have them in our pipeline, but they are taking longer time, more cost, and they're high risk.
Like what? Tell us one example. It's between us, nobody will know.
What we consider are for 2 domains. One domain is use cases still iterating around lending, because lending is the business model which earns. And another use cases are those in partnership with e-commerce.
E-commerce, interesting. I mean, you mentioned your distribution channel, and I've thought about that. Gabriela, what do you think? You guys are not innovating. You just invented the fintech industry, but you're not even innovating.
Yeah, in our case, it's the mentality. So we have the day one mentality, even now, yeah. So this is, and behind the success is the people that we are working with, the talent. We are targeting in all the markets, so we are actually targeting globally, so we are not focused necessarily on one country. And we are targeting top 3% talent in each country, and we are willing to pay for it.
How many people do you employ on the tech side?
Most of the people are on the tech side. So when I joined the company almost 3 years ago, we were 1,800 employees, and right now we are 7,600. Yeah, and in Romania, for example, that is one of our focus countries, and we believe in the talent in Romania, and we want to continue to employ people in Romania. We have around 130, and we are planning to double this number by the end of the year itself. So, and these are mostly people from the tech side, yeah, so engineers and also from the services.
You're going to have to leave some talent to those fintechs in the room, Gabriela. Thank you so much. Guys, just, Andrea, we didn't forget about you. Do you have a last advice, given that you know the market, at least you know the consumer insights? What would be your advice to the neobanks today in Europe and Romania?
Thanks, Alex. So first thing, yeah, it was great to hear all this feedback. And the reality is that all those companies, they do have own data, and it's a big part of our data. But as I just said, there's a reason behind every decision, and often it's irrational. Revolut, for example, speaking of innovation, has decided to start an insights generation program globally in which they gather information from declaration around the world about preference and why people take decisions, on top of using their internal data that are collecting. Given that when we're speaking gap information, neo-banking, and the definition, given that just staring with the neo-banking with license, the projection are that from the 3 billion probably we will go up to 8 billion by 2027, according to some data also generated by Statista. Indeed, it's important to analyze the reason behind the decision of your clients. So don't forget to ask, because often it's the fastest way to get an answer to the insights.
Thank you, Andrea. I would like to echo what Nick said. It's really great to have you here. You don't have those kind of panels everywhere in Europe where competition has decided to sit together, explain what they're doing, and openly also competing on your market. So thank you for showing us the way. Guys, a warm applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.